What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about a couple different things that Jason Schreier said in a podcast. And I believe this podcast was yesterday, sometime in like the first half of the day. Then kind of the bullet points were posted on Reddit, and that's kind of what I'm going to read through. He talked a little bit about Starfield, talked a little bit about Guardians of the Galaxy, talked a lot about Ubisoft. So we'll be kind of spending most time, I guess, on Ubisoft, but also the other games that I just mentioned as well, okay? If you guys are new, if you haven't already, make sure you guys are subscribed, bell icon turned on so you know all these videos go up. Give this video a like, would definitely help the video out quite a bit. And final thing, if you guys want to support us through Patreon or YouTube memberships, link for Patreon is always in the description below. The join button is obviously next to the subscribe button. You get exclusive perks and benefits for supporting us. We only have 2 tiers. They're pretty cheap. We try to put them as cheap as possible. So if you guys would like to do that, obviously would greatly appreciate it. No forcing, I guess a little force, right? No threatening, no stuff like that. But yeah, I'd greatly appreciate it if you guys check that out. Okay, so he talked about Starfield, and basically just that Starfield will be shown at Xbox's show, which we know that, and a specific release date will be shown late 2022. I'm going to read the whole thing, and then we'll kind of analyze each part. Guardians of the Galaxy game will be shown at Square Enix's show, not live service. Then he said, this is about Ubisoft, next Assassin's Creed game will be really big, even bigger than Valhalla. He heard similar things to the rumors of Ubisoft Sophia's AC being canceled / morphing into a Valhalla DLC. We've actually talked about that before. The Far Cry after 6 will have a radical change for the series. Skull and Bones, interests me, Skull and Bones will release in late 2022 or beyond. Beyond Good and Evil 2 is still very, very early in development. And then edit, Jason about the new Assassin's Creed. By the way, to be clear about the big AC game I referenced is years away. There could be something smaller before then. So, all right, let's just break it down in order. So, Starfield, you know what's funny about Starfield is, and by the way, again, like as I've said, I've gotten very tired of talking about Starfield just because every day for like 3 weeks there was like something else said about the game that was just conflicting with somebody else, and everybody was getting to like a battle about it. I'm excited for it. I cannot wait to see it. I'm going to be playing it, all that kind of stuff. But we have actually talked about this in particular. I did say, you know, if they go to E3, even with the game releasing, if it does release late next year, which seems to be kind of the popular, you know, theory, right? Would they be bold enough? And it would be bold to give a release date. Like if they, and I don't even know if this is a Tuesday or a Friday, but let's say they show it at E3 and they say October 22nd, 2022. Like that doesn't happen almost ever in the gaming industry. When you go that far away, when you're like not a year and a half, but like, you know, a year and a couple months, when you're that far away, you normally don't give a specific release, but that's, I mean, it literally says specific release date. So to me, that's a date. That's not a month. That's not a holiday. It's not a quarter, right? I kind of thought maybe they would say fall 2022 or just 2022 to kind of keep it ambiguous, make people believe maybe it's coming earlier than it really is. But no, I mean, if they gave an actual date, that, especially if it's September, October, November of next year, that is very bold. That's going to make people upset. There's no doubt about it, because people probably want it this year or probably expect it this year or expect it early next year. But, you know, when they see that, obviously that's going to be a little upsetting. Guardians of the Galaxy game, look, I mean, my thoughts of this are pretty easy. Just don't be Avengers. That's it. You know, I don't think Avengers is an inherently horrible idea. I just think, like, the way they should have gone with an Avengers game was not, like, they didn't do that. They went a separate way. So, you know, hopefully Guardians of the Galaxy is different. It could be similar, maybe even in gameplay, like in how you fight. I wouldn't mind that all that much, but the game cannot be literally an Avengers spin-off. Like, you know, if they make Marvel's Avengers 2, it can't be a spin-off of Avengers. If it's the same kind of thing, it's going to be, I think, really, really bad. I think people are going to get really mad at them. Next Assassin's Creed game will be really big, even bigger than Valhalla. Honestly, I'm a big Assassin's Creed guy. I haven't had much to say about the franchise as of late, mainly because the last 2, I've actually only watched my wife play. I've actually not played it myself. She'll play it 40, 50, 60 hours. I will sit there and watch, and I enjoy them. I enjoy watching. I enjoy the games now. I prefer like 2 Brotherhood Revelations era over all of Assassin's Creed, even maybe like Black Flag for its ship stuff. But, I respect what the franchise has done. It needed a kick in the butt. It needed to change. I know this is kind of just an analysis of do I like Assassin's Creed now, but that's kind of the thing, right? Bigger than Valhalla, I mean, we are still in that territory where, like, is it too big? Are these games too long? I mean, that's kind of the conversation that people have about Assassin's Creed now. So I don't mind it all that much, although, again, I do miss the Ezio kind of era of Assassin's Creed, but I get why it needed to change. I get it. The game that was canceled, we talked about that. Not too much to say about that, but there was that rumor that there was a game, Assassin's Creed game, that was supposed to, I believe, come out late 2022, and that it was canceled / made into DLC for Valhalla, so that kind of confirms that. The Far Cry after 6 will have a radical change for the series. I mean, I don't know why you need to be talking about Far Cry 7 when we haven't even played 6 yet. As I've said, this is the game that I just want to be the first one to really get me into the franchise. I've played 3, I've played 4, I played 3 the most, but in reality, none of these games have really caught my attention. They just, for whatever reason, I always love like looking into them or seeing the trailers, gameplay leading into them, and then when the game comes out, for whatever reason, it's a very rare franchise that I'm just not like in sync with. It doesn't like get me. I don't get it. It's kind of a bad relationship just altogether. But no, I'm excited for 6, and I really hope 6 can pull it off. So I don't really care what 7 does right now, because I'm focused on 6. Skull and Bones will release in late 2022 or beyond. Now, what I like about this is, number 1, mention of Skull and Bones. That immediately is a win. Number 2, we heard terrible news. A few, not like personal news, but we heard, a few weeks ago that it's possible that, if you believe the rumor, right, that Skull and Bones was rebooted / restarted again just a few months ago. Now, we know the game was rebooted, I believe, like 2 times is kind of the unofficial official word, right? But last to our knowledge, or last thing we've heard, was that it was fine because that happened like 3 years ago, 2 years ago. So like the last couple years, ideally and hopefully, they've settled on what they want it to be, and they're going forward with it, right? That's what I believed. That's what kind of I've been led to believe, I guess, by other people. But if you believe that rumor of a few weeks ago, that's not true. The game was just rebooted again, like in 2021, and that's horrible because it's like, again, you need, I would say, consistent years to be working on the game in order for it to actually come out in any state. Now, him saying late 2022 or beyond, now, he could just be, I didn't listen to the podcast, okay? I don't like Jason Schreier. I respect him. He's good. He knows his stuff, obviously, by this, but I mean, I'm not going to give him the satisfaction of listening to a podcast. But, the fact that he throws late 2022 or beyond, I mean, well, yeah, if it's 2023, if it's 2024, I hope, and I don't know how he worded it or how he said it specifically, but hopefully he felt good about saying late next year. I would love it I mean, that would be perfect. Honestly, I'm probably not expecting it till like, if it doesn't come out till 23, I'd be okay with that because that's just where I'm at in my mind. If it comes out before then, I'll be very happy. And then the final thing, which this is disappointing. We talked about Beyond Good and Evil 2 in a video. I talked about, will it be at E3? And there's a lot of fans. There's a lot of fans excited about this game. Very, very early in development. That's atrocious. I mean, there's been a lot of problems there that we've heard, okay? People have left. There's been, like, conflicting visions, all that kind of stuff. Every bad thing that could happen to a game has seemingly happened to this game. But, I mean, honestly, you'll have to let me know in the comments. How long has it been? Has it been, like, 3 or 4 years, maybe even longer, since they showed up and did that? And it was a nice moment. They really made it seem like they understood what fans of that franchise have gone through and that they care about it and they're working. I feel like it was 2017. I thought it was the same year as Skull and Bones, but Skull and Bones was also 2017, but I think it was also 2018. So one of those 2 years. It's been 3 or 4 years since we saw this game. Another way of saying it, which is very disappointing, we saw it, you'll have to let me know, 3 or 4 years ago, and the game is still 3 or 4 years later it's still very, very early in development. So, like, what are we talking, another 3 or 4 years? Why does everything need to take so long? No, I mean, I get why certain things take long, but clearly there's been a lot of problems there. So that's disappointing as well. Honestly, the Ubisoft stuff, you could look at it as just a lot of disappointments, which, no Splinter Cell, Prince of Persia remake delayed again as well. A lot of disappointments coming from Ubisoft recently. But again, I actually like Ubisoft more than the average person online. The average person online despises them, so I'm kind of above that. Not above it like I'm better than them. I'm saying like I like them more than, I guess, the average person, okay? So let me know, guys, in the comments below, what do you think about AC, about Far Cry, about Skull and Bones, about Starfield? Let me know. As always, make sure you guys are subscribed, bell icon. Again, leave a like. Would definitely help the video out. Patreon/memberships are down below, description, and obviously the join button if you guys want to do that. We are going to be live streaming both of these, both Microsoft Bethesda and Ubisoft tomorrow and Sunday. It's the opposite order. Ubisoft is Saturday, Microsoft is Sunday. I will be co-streaming both of them, so if you guys want to watch it live with me on this channel, definitely would love to have you guys, and we'll do it more often. We'll do it for EA, we'll do it for Sony if they do a thing. Very, very exciting, okay? Thank you for watching, guys, and I hope to see you there.